To deliver the keynote, may I request Ms. Smiti Bhatt Deorah, Co-Founder and COO, Advantage Club, to come up on stage. Let us all welcome her with a round of applause, please.
It's weird to do a panel alone, so. Hi everyone, my name is Smiti. I'm the founder of Advantage Club, which is a global rewards recognition, employee engagement, and an end-to-end wellness solution. Today I'm going to talk about innovations in total rewards beyond compensation and benefits. The theme for today's event is imagining or sculpting the future of technology in general. And what I want to focus on today is how we can define the future of rewards and total rewards, which is upcoming now. So the first thing I want to talk about is the story of evolution of rewards and total rewards in general. If we go back to the prehistoric era of work, it all started, like compensation in general started as a barter mechanism, where skills were paid through skills. As kind of industrialization started coming in, labor forces started getting deployed, the concept of currency and wages eventually got introduced, because of which people started getting paid in currency for the skills which they would bring to the table. Since most of the work at that point was primarily around labor-intensive things, trade unions and all of those started getting built in, because of which benefits became an important component. Back then, benefits for trade unions was primarily around security, safety of people while they are in the workplace. And the governance of job safety and benefits started coming in place because of that. With liberalization coming in place, and we have Gen Zs, millennials, and all of those type of work population coming in place now, the entire benefit structure has moved beyond just job security or safety or basic compensation, and more things around globalization brought in parity in place. People started getting options to move out of their countries, work in other countries, and hence global parity started becoming an important aspect around what you're getting paid for is actually right for the country you are part of. Other compensation benefit mechanisms like stock options and all of those started coming in play. So if you look at today's landscape of total rewards, it focuses on employee experience, it focuses on employee value proposition, and it drives things like work-life balance, focus on career development of individuals, overall well-being of your employees, all the new age benefits which are being driven today, and rewards and recognition. So these are primarily the core areas which I'm going to talk around and just talk about what are the new trends in overall total rewards today. So if we talk about new dimensions which have been making waves overall, one thing which COVID brought about for all of us was hybrid work. So since hybrid work came in, benefits evolved around giving people specific allowances in infra, setting up work from anywhere, telecom, overall other allowances which help make their hybrid work much easier. Learning and personal development also became an interesting part over the past decade of compensation and benefits, where an employee's expectations from an organization is not just around how much they're getting paid, but also what is their personal growth or career growth in the organization, and how the company is actually helping drive that growth in general. Employee assistance programs have been there since a while now, but what has changed in EAP now is kind of an extension of holistic well-being benefits, rather than just giving basic EAP options around general financial mental wellness. And well-being programs have expanded to comprehensive support options around preventive healthcare. How can you generally drive overall fitness in the organizations, and a lot of gamified experiences around those to drive people to be healthier at the workplace. And lastly, another interesting new dimension which has made wave in the past decade is around women empowerment. And we had panels speak about that earlier, where a lot of things around, beyond basic maternity, childcare, paternity benefits, leadership support for women to grow and get nurtured in the organization has also started. Few other dimensions which have made waves across the time is one around career progression. So I spoke about growth of an employee and their career growth in general, and how does the employees' views align with the company's views in terms of both growth of the employee and the organization. Diversity, equity, inclusion has taken another level altogether, where focus has been more around driving benefits which support DEI initiatives in the company. Another thing which has started over time is around, especially with Industry 5.0 coming in place. So how many of you actually know what is Industry 5.0, what that term means? Not a lot of people. So Industry 5.0 is the concept of people, humans working alongside technology and alongside AI. In my previous panel, Vijit gave an example which I really liked, which is a classic example of Industry 5.0, in which people are not going to be replaced by AI. People will, eventually we will have trainers who will be modeling AI to do the right work and kind of make people's productivity higher. That is a classic example of Industry 5.0. So how can we utilize Industry 5.0 as a concept to create better overall employee support groups, to create better CSR initiatives, to give people the right personalization at the right point of time, give them the right custom solutions which intuitively learn as and when people use those solutions, and start giving better recommendations overall. Instant gratification has become like a status quo. 10 years ago or 5 years ago, rewards and recognition was like a nice to have. It has become a must-have over time. Today's generation needs instant gratification. If I tell somebody a good job for something they did 3 months ago, that is not going to have the right impact as an instant gratification program does. So that has become a very, very big trend over time if you look at today's landscape. And of course, work-life balance, flexible arrangements, these are things which have again become status quo with the post-COVID era which we're living in. So in the total rewards aspect itself, what dimensions can we look at? One is primarily around rewards and recognition. I just want to talk about the importance of recognition in any organization. And again, in my previous panel, there was a question around how do you reduce attrition and how do you drive better retention? And recognition becomes a very core aspect of that, where the importance of somebody getting recognized for the work they do directly relates with the possibility or the overall understanding of how much they're going to stay in the organization. Beyond R&R, which is more structured in nature and you link it with your cultural values, with your organization core behaviors, there are also moments that matter which are kind of very popular in total rewards today. What are moments that matter? Right from the day an employee joins the organization till the day they leave the organization, there is a journey they go through. And that journey comprises of small, small moments, the first day at work, the first time I complete a year, my birthday, my work anniversary, my long service, the day I get promoted. Those are primarily moments that matter to me, and those moments are not necessarily related to my performance. Recognizing people on those moments also is really, really important and a very crucial part of the total reward strategy. Third is around flexible benefits. Now, flexible benefits is something which has again come up in the last half a decade around people wanting different things for different people. So one size does not fit all anymore. If you're giving a wellness benefit, for example, if you give like a gym membership to everybody, it might not be relevant to everybody. Like, for example, as you might have guessed, I don't go to the gym, right? But if I have a very stressful job, so if you give me a wellness benefit, I would rather use it on, say, a meditation session or a yoga thing or something like that. So flexi benefits has kind of become status quo today where giving the same options to employees does not work anymore. Employee experience initiatives, primarily in terms of total rewards today require some sort of a technology and infra investment. You could do it in-house, you could partner with a third party for that, because today's generation is primarily on their phones and they want everything at the click of a button. So investing in tech and infra to ensure that those benefits are available to them instantly as soon as they want them also becomes a very important part of total rewards. So when we talk about the non-monetary incentives framework, which could be rewards, which could be peer appreciations, it could be thank you cards, kudos cards, whether you want to put budgets or you don't want to put budgets, how does the entire thought process and employee need get mapped to it? So first I'm going to talk about Maslow hierarchies of needs for total rewards in general. So if you look at our grandfather's generation, right, they primarily used to work for survival. Our parents' generation started probably working for security. Today's generation does not just work for security and survival. So if somebody is just working in an organization for security and survival, there is a high possibility they are a disengaged employee. To create a level of engagement on top of it, we need to drive belongingness. We need to drive a sense of importance for the person to feel that, okay, my work here matters, I matter here, and if I just leave tomorrow, it's not like nothing, everything's gonna remain exactly the same. So the sense of belongingness and importance is where you can actually drive the right levels of engagement for employees. And the highest level of engagement is at self-actualization. Self-actualization is a mode in which I feel as an employee that, okay, I am doing good for myself. What can I do for others? So self-actualization is when you get on leadership path, when you start thinking more from an organization goal perspective beyond your own personal goals, and that's the highest level of engagement in any organization. Another thing I want to talk about is Daniel Pink's drive, which is around motivation. Like what motivates an employee to work, or what motivates them to actually stay in the current organization. So it's a cusp of three things: autonomy, how autonomous how much autonomy I have in my organization to kind of execute, to take decisions; mastery in the work which I actually have been given; and third is a sense of purpose. Do I have a purpose of working in the organization, and does the organization's purposes align with mine? So if I have to if I have to create a design thinking approach in reward programs, how do you do that? And these are the things I'm going to talk about now, around 5 pointers. One is identifying your employee needs. Once you identify your needs, you customize the solution. You customize the solution, you communicate those programs. Post-communication, you monitor those results, and eventually you measure, you analyze, reanalyze, and you reinvent the whole program again. So first, let's talk about identifying the first part of the entire design thinking approach. So to identify, you have to first figure out, you have to discover your employee preferences. For creating a total reward solution, there are two types of discoveries we need to make. One is primarily around what the organization needs to do and why actually we are doing the programs which we are planning to run. Second is, how does my employee needs align with what I'm actually building for my company? So the first piece of that is around defining the programs aligning with your company values. Why are we creating a program? Is it because my competitor is doing that same program for their employees? No. It needs to sync with what my company stands for, what my organization goals are, and link it in that direction so that the entire total reward structure aligns employees to what the company really needs to do. Second is your employee preferences. So whether your employee needs flexibility in terms of their benefits, what kind of benefits are they looking at, and to identify the employee preferences, I would recommend there are a lot of survey options which can be driven. There can be a lot of feedback taken from employees. Basis that, analyze the entire structure, customize it, again take feedback, and it's like a continuous loop which keeps going, and you keep reanalyzing and restructuring programs basis the feedback which you receive on those programs. Second is, once you've identified what employees need, you have to customize the entire total rewards alignment matrix, right? So one is define the goals of your reward structure. If you are driving spot awards, what is the reason for driving those spot awards? Create a very clear mandate on how employees will receive those awards. These are 20 things they need to do to actually get those rewards. What percentage of people in each quarter, in each division will get rewarded? What percentage of CTC are you looking at to actually award them? Industry standard is typically between 1% to 5%. Identify overlaps between what your employees are looking for, which you've already collected through feedbacks, and what the company is actually looking for, and create a structure which mixes both of them together. Third is customize the rewards in a way that people get multiple options, they get choices to choose from, and hence utilization is higher. And lastly, constantly review, renew, reanalyze, restart, restructure, and keep working on that continuously. Once you've customized your programs and you've created structures around it, it's very, very important to communicate those structures as well. I can create a fantastic program. If my employees don't know about it, it's absolutely a waste of everyone's time. End of the day, these programs start off with a bang, and then in 3 months, they just die a very slow, painful death. So communication becomes really important. And while, of course, you're creating a foundation of communication, giving clarity to employees, the better version is to also make it a two-way communication option, where you give employees ways to address, to kind of give their concerns, issues, challenges, you address those concerns, and you highlight the benefits constantly over and over again to them. That, okay, these are the benefits which you're missing out. I was speaking with somebody, and they mentioned that they had started a series around did you know, right? So constantly highlighting those benefits to employees so that they have an understanding of what the benefits are which the organization is providing to them. Those are the ways you drive effective communication dialogue between the employer and the employees to receive those benefits. Lastly, once you've created the communication plan and you've run the program, it's important to monitor, collect feedback constantly. You can also collect feedback from existing employees, feedback in exit interviews, so that people are more candid in terms of their feedback and usage. Basis the monitoring of what the data is showing you, how many people are using it, what people are using, what categories are most important to the people in your organization. You keep on reinventing and reanalyzing and recreating those programs. How do you measure eventually once you've run all of those? So for measuring, these are a few metrics you can look at. The first is, of course, the most common ESAT surveys. Employee satisfaction surveys should at least be 90% for every program which you're running. If it's not 90, then there's a lot of scope of improvement on those. For ESAT also, my recommendation is to not wait for the entire year and then look at the results. For ESAT, it should work like a target-based model, right? So start of the year, you set up a target. We're going to do 93% ESAT this year at least. And then the entire organization gets aligned to do whatever it needs, whatever it takes to drive that percentage of ESAT. And of course, people who are driving that, I mean, HR is responsible for rewarding everybody who rewards the HR team. So there should be like a specific structure for that team as well when they are actually able to achieve those ESAT scores. And next year, just increase that number by a percentage or two to drive better than what we did the last year. Turnover rates, again, is a very big debate, that how do you link your total rewards programs to turnover rates? Attrition is a very large topic, right? You can't just say, okay, I ran R&R because of which this 2% or 3% overall attrition has gone down this year. So to identify how your reward programs link to turnover rates, it's very simple. One of the simple ways of doing it is by identifying the cohorts of people who have actually gotten rewards in all formats and the percentage of people who actually have not gotten it, and see the difference in turnover between those. There is a very common question which comes after this, that obviously people are getting money, they're getting monetarily rewarded, so obviously they will stay back, but that is not true. The data which we've seen as Advantage Club in general is that while of course there is a around 50% attrition difference between monetary reward cohorts and people who have not gotten monetary rewards, the moment you add non-monetary rewards on top of it, like peer-to-peer appreciation, thank you cards, kudos cards, this attrition percentage difference goes as high as 70%. Which means that even those weekly or monthly campaigns you'd be running around, thank yous, kudos, good jobs, or any festival wishes, that also impacts sincerely around your attrition rates itself. Skill development metrics and overall productivity and ROI metrics are very common. Those are things you can track. You can also track things around attendance rates, absentee rates, or overall program participation also gives a very good idea around whether the programs are working. Utilization percentages for total rewards should be at least 95%. Redemption percentages of your marketplace or whatever you're giving to employees to redeem their rewards on should be at least 90%. Below this, any number which you're driving needs significant scope of improvement, and it has to be driven in that manner. So overall, in terms of mastering total rewards, if I had to just summarize the entire piece, one, of course, personalization and customization becomes very important, where AI becomes a very, very important piece as well. You can run predictive models around identifying what people need. Basis what I am using, I should be recommended similar options. Basis what my organization behaves like, I should be recommended. And we've seen that most organizations behave in a similar manner. Like, say, a BPO sector will behave in a similar manner. IT will behave in a similar manner. Industries will behave in a similar manner. So eventually, starting points of predictive AIs can be done, and then post those starting points within a quarter or 2 quarters, AI can take over and start giving better recommendations to people. We need to move beyond job-based compensation strategies, because that is not what people are looking at only anymore, while of course compensation is extremely important. If there are multiple competing offer letters for me, I will immediately go to the benefits and the culture of the organization to decide where I have to go or whether I have to stay in my current company. Focus on non-monetary appreciations beyond monetary rewards as well, which overall drives, like I said, from 50% to 75% retention compared to just monetary rewards alone. Overall embracing digitization, whether it is in-house, whether it is a third party, whether you want to drive it through an app or whatever, create a structure in which people have digitization to actually get things at the click of their fingers. And lastly, of course, linking everything with your core values, with your DEI initiatives, so that people know why they are getting what they are getting. So that's pretty much it in terms of my session today. Thank you so much. And I'm not going to keep you away from your lunch. So I'm here. We have a booth here of Advantage Club. If you have any questions, happy to answer those. Or just discuss what you're doing with your company and just brainstorm a little bit. We're not going to sell you anything, so just happy to chat. Thank you once again. My name is Smiti, and have a wonderful lunch.
Thank you so much, Smiti. So that was really informative and enlightening. I would like to call Mr. Visti Banaji on stage, please, to hand over the token of appreciation to her. Sure. Can we have a round of applause, please?